riding back here on these trails in Akala. And, I wonder, what if I went through a portal and popped out in some different time? Like 1865 or something. Like, what if I went through some kind of vortex, and when I got out of this trail, I was in another century and just had to figure out how to survive. That might happen. People go missing in national parks all the time. Like, literally just disappear without a trace. Nobody ever finds them. And so people are like, well, it's the aliens. They're being abducted. And I think, what if there's really legit just portals, vortexes, freaking wormholes, and you're just walking through this huge protected wilderness, and there's some kind of wormhole and you pop out in another dimension or in another century, And time isn't linear, time is cyclical, and universes overlap each other, Like literally, like right here, through some unseen veil, there's a completely other universe occurring with us, alongside of us, I have a thought about that I'll get into someday. Like an example of that with like fish and the water, and creatures on land and creatures in the water, and different universes. But the thing I'm thinking about is, so my sister-in-law last night was like, hey, by the way, nobody wants to watch a 17-minute long video where you ramble on and never get to the point. And I was like, well, at first I was like, well, fuck you then. Don't watch my videos, what the fuck? But it's interesting that the other day I said, and this is true, that I like feedback, So I guess maybe it's that we like feedback when we like feedback. And if we're not ready for it, it could actually piss us off, which it kind of did a little bit at first. I was annoyed. I was like, well, fuck you then, But as I thought about it, I do like feedback, So it was interesting that I thought about what she was saying, and she has a point. I'm sure that most people don't want to watch somebody ramble on for 20 minutes talking about nothing or whatever, not getting to the point. And so it made me think maybe I should kind of focus a little bit more on some kind of point, or subject. I don't know. But what's even cooler than that is that what it made me realize about my relationship with my sister-in-law is that we have a pretty damn good relationship, because she didn't have to ask for permission to tell me what she thought. She didn't feel like she had to tiptoe through the tulips about it either. She just was sitting there and out of nowhere was like, hey, by the way, nobody wants to watch your long, dumbass videos. And because they're long, and because you didn't really get to the point, whatever point you were trying to make. So that's feedback. And, so it tells me that, number one, she cares enough about me and what I'm trying to do or whatever to tell me her opinion. If she didn't care, she wouldn't say anything. She'd think in her mind, well, that guy's an idiot. I don't know what he's trying to do. That's stupid. And probably would never say anything about it. So it tells me that she cares enough about me to give me her opinion. It also tells me that she trusts me enough to tell me how she feels without having to preface it with anything, And so I did something very similar with someone very close to me. I shared about that, where I told this person my version of the truth, my opinions, what I thought, and I didn't ask for permission. God damn, the mosquitoes out here are ferocious. And so to be on the receiving end of that, I caught myself. I had to check myself, because at first it was like, all right, well, fuck you, like, fuck off then. But that's my ego. The ego initially pops up and says, I'm right, they're wrong. Get away from me. I'll be fine without you. That's what the ego does. But once we can deflate the ego enough for feedback to get through, it made me think, she has a point. And I'm sure this will evolve over time, but I wanted to share that experience with being on the receiving end of feedback when you're not expecting it. And then actually the positive in that tells me that I have a pretty damn good relationship with my sister-in-law. You know, to think I've only known her for like 4 years, and you know, I've only been married since 2017. So here we are in a short time. You know, she trusts me enough to tell me what's up. She cares enough about me to tell me what's up, and we can get along in our truth with each other, you know? And I like that, man. There's something very authentic and pure about that. And it makes me very happy. And with that being said, I'm going to keep this shorter, you know, for her. Okay, bitch? But being on the receiving end of feedback is something. And it just happened. It was live and very real. And I caught myself annoyed at first. The ego popped up. I had to push the ego down. It took probably about 120 seconds to put my defense mechanisms down and let the feedback soak in and to actually think about it. And so, you know, the next time I get feedback, hopefully it doesn't take 120 seconds. Maybe I could shorten that window and just unsolicited feedback could sink in without having the ego pop up. And I think that's the exercise. But for this example, the ego popped. I caught it. And so all day today, I'm thinking about what she told me, what she said. I'm thinking about her opinion and what maybe I could do to kind of put a more focused subject matter out there, and what is it I'm actually trying to accomplish with this, other than just kind of leading by example for other people that are close to me that I think should start using the internet a little bit more to promote their skills and their gifts. You know, what the hell am I trying to do? The question is, who the fuck do I think I am? You know, that's the most important question. And what the hell is the objective? What are we trying to do here? So, hey, to my sister-in-law, thanks. And now I have to get out of these woods before it gets dark and I emerge in some other century. So this will be fun.